Marcus had lived in his suburban neighborhood for over 5 years. As a hard-working IT consultant, he loved the peace and quiet, until Karen moved in next door. From the start, she was trouble, always nosy, always complaining, and always acting like she owned the whole street. At first, Marcus ignored her. But then, strange things started happening. His internet would slow down at random times, his smart devices would lag, and his data usage skyrocketed, even when he wasn't home. Something felt off. One night, after another frustrating internet drop, Marcus decided to check his Wi-Fi settings. He logged into his router and froze. There were multiple unknown devices connected, devices he didn't recognize. Someone was using his internet without permission. Marcus had a strong suspicion who it was. Determined to find out the truth, he changed his Wi-Fi password immediately and strengthened his network security. The next morning, as he sipped his coffee, he heard angry banging on his front door. It was Karen. Her face was red with frustration. "Why isn't my internet working?" she snapped. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Your internet?" he asked, playing dumb. Karen huffed. "Yes. Ever since last night, my connection has been acting weird. I work from home, and I need my internet." Marcus smirked internally. She had just exposed herself. "Oh, that's odd," he said calmly. "Because I changed my Wi-Fi password last night." Karen's eyes widened, and for a split second, panic flashed across her face. But she quickly recovered, crossing her arms defensively. "You can't just do that," she shrieked. "That's illegal. I'm calling the police." Marcus almost laughed. "You're calling the police? Because I changed my own Wi-Fi password?" Karen didn't hesitate. She pulled out her phone and dialed 911. "Yes, hello. I'd like to report suspicious activity. My neighbor is messing with my internet, and I feel threatened," she said dramatically. Marcus shook his head in disbelief. Was she serious? Within minutes, a police car pulled up in front of his house. 2 officers stepped out, their faces already looking weary. They had no idea they were about to uncover something way bigger than just a Wi-Fi dispute. Marcus stood on his porch, arms crossed, watching as the officers approached. Karen, still clutching her phone, rushed toward them like a damsel in distress. "Officer, thank God you're here," she cried. "My neighbor has been messing with my internet and acting suspicious. I feel unsafe." One of the officers, a tall man with a skeptical expression, glanced between Karen and Marcus. "Ma'am, what exactly do you mean by messing with your internet?" Karen huffed dramatically. "Ever since he moved in, my connection has been acting up, but last night, it just completely shut off. I work from home, I need my Wi-Fi, and now he's standing here all smug, like he did something to it." Marcus sighed, shaking his head. "Officer, let me be very clear. I changed my own Wi-Fi password. That's it. I don't know how that affects her, but it sounds like she was using my internet without my permission." The second officer, a younger woman, raised an eyebrow at Karen. "Ma'am, do you pay for his internet?" Karen's lips pressed into a thin line. "Well, no, but then how was your internet affected when he changed his private password?" Karen's face flushed red. She stumbled over her words, her confidence wavering. Well, maybe there was a mix-up. Maybe our networks got crossed." Marcus was done playing games. "Officer," he said calmly, "if you need proof, I can show you my router logs. They'll show multiple unknown devices connected before I change my password. I can also check the IP addresses. Something tells me they'll lead right next door." Karen's eyes widened in horror. "You don't have to do all that," she blurted out. Look, maybe I borrowed it a few times, but it's not a big deal. Internet should be free for the neighborhood." The younger officer let out a sharp laugh. "That's not how it works, ma'am. You were stealing his internet." Karen flipped the switch instantly. The fake concern vanished, replaced with rage. "This is ridiculous," she shrieked. "He's trying to turn this around on me. What if he's doing something illegal on his internet? You should be investigating him." The officers exchanged a look. The younger one pulled out a notepad. "Actually, ma'am," she said, "stealing internet access is a crime. In some places, it's even a felony. If you'd like, we can file an official report." Karen froze. She had called the cops expecting to get Marcus in trouble, but now she was the one under investigation. The male officer turned to Marcus. "Would you like to press charges?" Marcus paused, thinking. He had all the power in this moment. But something told him Karen wasn't just stealing Wi-Fi. There was something deeper going on, and he was about to expose all of it. Marcus took a deep breath, letting the tension in the air settle. He could see the fear creeping into Karen's eyes as the officers waited for his response. The idea of pressing charges was tempting. After all, she had called the police on him over his own Wi-Fi, wasting their time and trying to frame him as a criminal. But Marcus wasn't done yet. He had a feeling there was more to this story than just stolen internet. He pulled out his phone, quickly scrolling through his router settings. "Officers," he said, his voice steady, "before I make any decisions, I'd like to show you something interesting." With a few taps, he pulled up the connection history from before he changed his password. "Look at this," he said, turning the screen toward them. "Here are all the unauthorized devices that were connected to my network before last night. And check this out. Several of these devices were streaming 24/7, even when no one was home next door." The officers leaned in. The younger one narrowed her eyes. Streaming. What exactly was being streamed? Marcus scrolled down and pointed at a series of security camera IP addresses that had been accessing his Wi-Fi. "These are smart cameras, and not mine." Karen visibly tensed. The male officer caught on immediately. "Are you saying that her security cameras were connected to your internet?" "Exactly," Marcus nodded, "which means I was unknowingly supplying power to her surveillance system. But here's the thing. When I checked these IP addresses last night, one of them led to a hidden camera. That was facing my property." The younger officer's face hardened. "Ma'am, is this true?" Karen stammered, her eyes darting around like she was searching for an escape. I was just making sure the neighborhood was safe. You can never be too careful these days." Marcus let out a humorless laugh. "Safe? Or spying on me?" The officer's patience was running out. The younger one pulled out her notepad again. "Ma'am, unauthorized surveillance of someone's private property is highly illegal. Depending on what we find, this could be a serious privacy violation." Karen lost it. "I was just watching my property," she shouted, her voice shrill. "I have a right to protect myself." "By secretly watching your neighbor," the male officer shot back. "This isn't about safety. This is harassment." Karen's mouth opened, but no words came out. She knew she was trapped. The younger officer turned back to Marcus. "Would you like to press charges now?" Marcus took another deep breath. He had all the evidence he needed to make sure Karen faced the consequences. But as he looked at her, flushed, shaking, and completely out of excuses, he realized she had already lost. He smirked. "Nah, I think this lesson is punishment enough." Karen let out a shaky breath, relieved, until Marcus added, "For now." The officers didn't let her off so easy. They issued her a formal warning for internet theft and illegal surveillance, making it clear that if Marcus found anything else, she would be facing real charges. As the cops walked back to their car, Karen stormed into her house, slamming the door. Marcus chuckled to himself. He had moved in just wanting a quiet life, but Karen had made it her mission to be a problem. Now, she knew exactly who she was messing with. He pulled out his phone and changed his Wi-Fi name one last time. "Nice try, Karen." Then, with a satisfied grin, he walked inside and shut the door. Karen gets exposed as a nosy, entitled neighbor who had been secretly using the black man's Wi-Fi without permission. When he changed the password, she panicked and called 911, falsely accusing him of hacking or interfering with her internet access. But the truth was out. The police realized she had wasted their time, and the man stood his ground, refusing to let her intimidation win. What do you think about this wild situation? Have you ever dealt with an entitled neighbor like Karen? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more jaw-dropping real-life stories.